Ryan Reynolds breaks the internet with what could be the greatest thing to ever happen at the MCU. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I kind of messed up that intro. I could have done that a little bit better, but I'm just very excited. I'm extremely excited for what I saw today on the internet. Wow. So I don't want to spoil it for you right now. Let's give it a few minutes. Let's let a couple people come back in. This is not going to be arcade content, arcade one-ups, iArcades, nothing. This is going to be kind of some nerd culture. If you're into comic books, if you're into the MCU, if you're into movies in general, I think you're going to find this pretty exciting. Yeah, so today, a little bit of a reference point, okay, little context here. I have been in company meetings. This is that time of the year for us where we have our corporate meetings. We get together, we talk about this and that, and stuff that's kind of boring, to be honest with you. So when I got a text message today from my baby brother, which doesn't happen that often, but I knew that when I got the text, it was important because it doesn't happen that often. So I saw what I saw. And my face exploded. My face exploded, and it was a mess all over the desk in front of me. I had to quickly call the paramedics to reassemble my skull and cranium and to get all the tissue back in place. And I healed up just in time to come back home and bring you this news. Maybe you've probably already seen it. I'm not sure if you have, but I had to share it with you. I had to stop for just a second and share this with you. So before we get into it, as always, I've got something to drink, and I've got a poll. Now, we'll start with the drink. It is coffee. It's Folgers, and I'm just going to drink out of the victory mug there. Love that Dallas Cowboys victory. Let me just put this over here on the weight of the victory. It's so heavy. Oh, it's so heavy. Cowboys win. Yeah, listen, I'm going to milk the Cowboys thing for as long as I can because next week will probably be another Cowboys disaster. Just give me that. Just give me that. Also, we have a poll in the chat. As always, every week you see me doing this, and this is no different. This is a little special occasion, but it's something different. If you know what's going on, answer this poll question, and then when you find out later on in the live stream, go ahead and answer the poll question if you don't mind. I want everybody to tell me what they thought because I know where I line up on this question, but I want to know where you fall on this one. Who thought, this is the question, who thought we would see this character played by this actor ever again? I know it's kind of vague. If you don't know what we're talking about, you will very soon. Just buckle up and stay with me. But if you know what I'm talking about, go ahead and vote in the poll. The two options are going to be, I knew it all the time. I knew this was going to happen eventually. Come on. And then the other option is, I didn't think it would happen. Completely surprised. It's awesome. This is just a fun time. I just listen. I had to share it with you. I had to get your opinion on this. I'm going to wait. I'm going to tell you where I line up on this in just a second. But this is cool. There's a lot of stuff going on in the community. We've got the NFL Blitz cabinet that's coming out. We have a lot of people that are getting their hands on this cabinet, and they're not too happy with it. And if you watch this channel, you know why. We've highlighted some of the reasons why you might not be satisfied with it. The review is going to be forthcoming this week. B Kong, thank you so much for finally getting that 49-way joystick back to me. We got that. We're going to go reinstall that, and I'm going to get to work. Get that review, get it done, and get it out to you by this weekend so that you can at least know where I stand on the entire thing, the good, the bad, and how it sits right now. But that's for another day. The review of the NFL Blitz Cab is for another day. Right now, we're going to talk about Ryan Reynolds and all of his glory. Listen, now, I don't know how you may feel about Ryan Reynolds. He's a good Canadian boy, bless his heart. You know, he wasn't born on this side of the border. We're not going to hold that against him because the guy's done some good work. He's done some bad work too. He's been involved in the MCU for quite some time. He's been involved in the MCU before the MCU was the MCU. You know, back in the early 90s, the late 90s and the early 2000s, Marvel movies, comic book movies in general, we kind of were just lucky we got what we got, right? It didn't always shake out, didn't always pan out the way that it should. If you were a comic book fan, you knew how things should go. That's not always the way that they appeared in the movies. But listen, we took what we can get, and the interpretation wasn't always the best, to say the least. Now, one thing that Ryan Reynolds is famous for is playing multiple superheroes. He was the Green Lantern. He's probably mad at me for even bringing that up. Not his best performance, not the greatest movie ever. So we're going to move past that. We're going to talk about his other character. Deadpool is the character that he has played for the past, I guess I don't know how many years it's been, but the last couple Deadpool movies, Deadpool 1, Deadpool 2, have been really good. But the first iteration of the character showed up in Wolverine X-Men Origins, or X-Men Origins Wolverine. Not good. Not good. Not good is me being kind. It was absolute garbage. It was trash. His introduction in the beginning of the movie was great, but what the character ended up being basically became a laughingstock in nerd culture, geek space, whatever you want to call it, or just people that appreciate the Marvel comic books in general. It was absolutely atrocious. Now, what Ryan Reynolds has done since that movie is done a great job of actually sprinkling in jokes, making fun of that character in every single movie he's ever done. We even saw in Green Lantern how he actually took a little jab at that character. And ever since we've seen him in the pre-MCU, when it was just the Fox Marvel movies, always these little digs at that original character, which was absolutely great. I loved it. I'm sure you probably liked it as well. Acknowledging that it exists, knowing that that wasn't the right way to go about it, and then seeing what we have now in all of its glory. It is a different take on the character than we've seen in the past. It is a very crass, very coarse, very raw, adult, mature version of the character, and that is exactly the version of the character that we should have gotten, because that's how he exists in the comic books. That's just the way that that character is. Breaking the fourth wall has always been something great. And when we finally see that character sort of merge, Disney goes and they buy Fox, and now we have this merger, this weird sort of thing. How is this character going to fit into the MCU? And we saw the MCU turn into whatever the MCU is now. Not exactly, I think, what all of us want. And maybe you're happy with it, and that's fine. I'm happy for you. But after Endgame, the MCU, for me personally, has not lived up to its potential. I said many moons ago, I think it was actually October 2019, I believe. I said on a live stream, I think that they should have just ended the MCU after Endgame. Endgame happens, boom, it's over. Wrap it up with a beautiful bow. You did a great job. I wasn't a fan of Captain Marvel, but for the most part, you did a good job. You had a great, cinematic universe. Shelve it, and now let's get ready for MCU 2.0, maybe? I don't know. So anyway, we didn't really know how Deadpool from Fox's, Marvel movies was going to work out in Disney. It's been a big thing. It's been a big source of I thought that maybe they would just end it. Like we had Deadpool 1 and 2. That was great. Maybe we close that book and it's done. How are you going to have a rated R movie in Disney? I mean, I know it's not technically Disney, but it's this 20th Century Studios, I think is what they're calling it now. So how is it going to shake out? How is it going to fall out? Well, finally, Deadpool himself, Ryan Reynolds, took to the internet and effectively broke it. So let's go ahead and play this. I'm going to play you the clip that is online. It's circulating everywhere. My baby brother, posted it on Facebook so that I could see it, but it's on Twitter. It's on all. It's all over the world right now. I don't know how much I can play without getting a copyright strike. So here's what we're going to do. The majority of it is going to be muted, but I left the audio for a very crucial point of the clip. So let's go ahead and watch the clip together, and then you and I are going to discuss what it is we just saw. Hopefully your faces will not explode. Here you go. So Ryan Reynolds sitting on his couch saying, "Hey everyone, we're sad we missed D23, but we've been working very hard on the next Deadpool movie. For a long time, he's walking in the woods. It's like a Mint Mobile commercial. He's taking the fake seriousness, the emotion to the nth level, talking about the character, talking about what he wants to do with the character in this third movie, digging down deep and, pouring some, I think that's vodka in his Deadpool coffee cup. And he's digging deep inside, and he's realizing that, he has no ideas. He has nothing. But he has maybe one idea. Check this out.
But we did have one idea. Hey, Hugh, you want to play Wolverine one more time?
Yeah, sure, Ryan.
Come on! Come on! All right, so here you go. Let's go and let this play out. Obviously, I had to mute this part because it's like Whitney Houston's I Will Always Love You at the end. But you can see upcoming Hugh, I think it's June, yeah. It's coming next year, and here we have the Wolverine slash Deadpool 3 with the 3 claws and 9/6/24. So next 2 years from now, basically almost to the day. Yeah. We got a little less than 2 years away. Let's go ahead and watch the I love this. I love this this relationship they have, the two actors. Let's go ahead and play this little bit of just beautiful thing one more time. Here you go.
But we did have one idea. Hey, Hugh, you want to play Wolverine one more time?
Yeah, sure, Ryan.
Come on. Come on. All right, listen. This is me at my most geeky. All right. I absolutely love this idea. Okay, so let's back it up. Let's back it up just a minute. So in case you've been living under a rock for the last 20 something years, Hugh Jackman is known for playing Wolverine. Back in the day, because I am that old, back in the day when we first heard that Hugh Jackman was going to be playing Wolverine, I was not in support of that idea at all. It's it's not that he wasn't like some bad actor. He was a good actor, but he's like 6'1". If you know anything about Wolverine, well, you know what? You do know something about Wolverine if you watch this channel for any length of time. Let me go ahead and play you a clip of my idea of Wolverine right now.
Expo. Wolverine win. Rookie.
Short, stocky ball of muscles and adamantium claws. That's what he was supposed to be. So when you introduce this 6'1", actor as Wolverine, it didn't really quite fit for me. Now in 2022, I could imagine anybody else playing the character when he did Logan, the last movie that was a take on Old Man Logan from the comic books. It was sad to see him go. It really was. Even though I didn't support him being cast as Wolverine, I couldn't imagine anybody playing him. I was glad that the actor was able to kind of bring it into the character. It was great. Absolutely. I couldn't have said it any better myself. I'm so glad you're here, man. Yeah. So Bob, how the hell are you, buddy? My kids' childhoods will be destroyed when they find out that Pikachu is Deadpool. Don't tell them. Don't tell them that's actually Ryan Reynolds. I can't wait when they get older for that. Yeah, that's gonna be heartbreaking. But we're talking about Van Wilder. That's right. He will always be Van Wilder to me. Listen, so Hugh Jackman's done with the character, right? He's done. He's gone. That's supposed to be done. Then the Disney sale goes through and they buy Fox, and now we're waiting to see. We're sitting back. We see them. Well, let me go ahead and put this up. I'm talking about some stuff that maybe this may be a concern to some people. Not everybody maybe has seen some of the videos or some of the movies that we're going to talk about now. So we'll put the spoiler alert up just to make sure that everybody is totally aware. Yes, console kids. Yes, spoiler alert. Absolutely, it is up. It is there, right there. So you can't get mad at me. So Hugh Jackman's done with the character. He wraps it up nicely. Disney buys Fox, which is now 20th Century Studios, and we don't know what's going to happen with this character. We don't know what's going to happen with the X-Men joining the MCU. How's that all going to shake out? I don't know. You don't know. No one knows. And then we have what is effectively going to be the continuation of Deadpool, this Deadpool trilogy. Maybe this is the last one. And if it is the last one hell of a way to just wrap it up. So there's a couple things that we need to kind of dissect before we get too far into this. And once again, now that you know what I know, we know what we know. You've seen the video, you've seen the little clip. Go ahead and vote in the poll. It is up here. Now we can go ahead and, we can spill the beans, right? Who would have ever thought, who thought that we would see Hugh Jackman play Wolverine ever again? That's the question. And go ahead and jump at the poll. We got 35 votes. We can do better than that. I think we can probably get to 50 tonight. If you all hang with me, give me 50 votes if you don't mind. Let me know if you knew it. You're like, I knew this was going to happen, or you didn't think it was going to happen. Let me know in the poll. Answer that poll question. I really do appreciate it. So we got some stuff to unpack, right? So we got the poll. Answer the poll question, please. Let me know. Hit the like button, all that good YouTube stuff. This is just a great fun stream for me because I'm just super into this. I was a fan of the original Fox X-Men when they came out. Movies got kind of weird, kind of muddled, but they wrapped it up decently. Now we have effectively Hugh Jackman coming back, and Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds have a great relationship. They have been giving each other crap on Twitter, on YouTube. Every time they're interviewed, and the other actors brought up, they give each other a hard time. It's great. It's outstanding. I love the relationship, and they've just basically been making. I mean, in Deadpool 1 and 2, he calls out Wolverine, Hugh Jackman as Wolverine in those movies, just breaking that fourth wall, and I absolutely love it. Now they're going to be in the same movie, so there's actually some nerd stuff to unpack. How is this going to actually work? What kind of story are they going to have besides just self-referential humor? There's some things in here, some beyond just the subtle eyebrow, of, hey, we got Hugh Jackman back. There's something else going on in here, and big shout out to my baby brother for kind of pointing this out to me when he sent this to me. It was really, really interesting. Both of us being nerds, and many of you in this chat being comic book nerds, into X-Men, into all that. You can kind of tell that right now Ryan Reynolds is sitting in a typewriter and he's wearing the Deadpool outfit, costume, uniform, but it's not red and black, is it? I think there's something to be said there. I think it's a subtle hint of what we could possibly see. Now, what does this mean? It's black, it's gray, it looks like it's kind of burnt. It could be just a reference to maybe something that happens within the movie, or it could be a reference to something else entirely. And what I'm thinking, and what many of you fans are probably thinking, you probably already beat me to the punch, and it is X-Force. It is absolutely X-Force. I cannot wait for this to happen. It's absolutely insane. Could we see Psylocke also come back in this? Olivia Munn reprising her role would be absolute insanity. It would be crazy. Of course, Wolverine and Deadpool in the black and the silver, the black and the gray would be nuts. Would be absolute insanity. It would really be great. So there's that picture there. And then we got this picture also I pulled from the internet. So it's possible we could still see Deadpool maybe back in the black and the red, but also have everybody else in more of the silver and black sort of iteration of their classic costumes. Yes, Tony C, you called it. X-Force. Boom, give that man a trophy because he got it. And it does. Bob, it absolutely, that makes sense too. Yes, it does. We've already kind of had some X-Force references within the other movies, and to see this come together, I mean, is it a last hurrah? Maybe it is, but what a way to go to finally have these two together to finish this off. And let's, Paul, can you think of anything greater? Maybe a few things, but not many. So it'd be great to see her back. I think that maybe that character, Olivia Munn as Psylocke, didn't have that much to do in the last film. It would be nice to see her have a little more to do in this comedic role. I mean, it's kind of funny. Everybody else can sort of play the straight man in a Deadpool movie because Deadpool is so much the goofy character, so much the fourth wall breaker. The jokes can be much more R-rated, mature. It would be great. Yes, we saw Cable in the second movie. Could he come back? Of course. Absolutely. He could absolutely come back. I think it would be absolute just great. Or Vinyl. We're not going to be, listen, if you don't want to kill a cow, we will also, I think, let me go to the audience. Would you accept Olivia Munn in Vinyl? Resounding yes. I heard them all cry out at the same time. Yes, Vinyl was also acceptable. Once again, sipping out of the victory mug, the Dallas Cowboys victory mug. This is great, guys. I mean, this is so cool. I said in the intro, my little clip that I kind of flubbed. I flubbed that line. I wanted to get that right. But basically, this could possibly be the last big surprise that we could have gotten from the MCU because everything else has kind of been played out. Even the fan casting of course, John Krasinski, Jim from The Office, being cast as Mr. Fantastic. We've seen that we've seen that done in the latest Doctor Strange movie. They've kind of gone back to they've done as much as they can do as far as giving the fans what they want, us being able to see what it is that we want out there. And the majority of the stuff that they're doing now is kind of agenda driven, and it's not really, it's not deep in story. It's kind of, they're trying to push kind of this narrative, and it's getting in the way of the story. And I don't like it. A lot of us out there don't like it. We just want good stories. We really don't care about the character. We don't care about this weird agenda. We care about the characters and their stories. Go back to the comics and give us that stuff. But as all that goes, I mean, listen, go back, rewind the tape in your brain back to the MCU. Think of the great things we were able to see. We're able to see, I mean, think about Endgame, Captain America wielding Mjolnir. I mean, how much more epic could all this have been? It's crazy. It's great. We got so much there. What was left in the MCU, in Marvel? What was left? What else is out there? So much has been done with Spider-Man. So many great things with these characters. Some of it not so good, but some of it, a lot of it, just great. We got to see so much of it visually. This is one of those last things, in my opinion. This is one of those last things that could have really surprised us as the audience, could have really gotten us excited. And, I don't know what else they could have done. So this appears to be legit. I don't imagine this is a joke. I think this is probably pretty much as legit as we could possibly get as far as an announcement. I think it's a great tease. I think it's perfect. Ryan Reynolds is exactly how I would expect Ryan Reynolds to do a Deadpool announcement, especially with something as incredibly epic as Hugh Jackman coming back as X-Men or as Wolverine, just to have him just walking in the background, just like, we did have this one idea. Hugh Jackman, and Hugh Jackman's just walking. He's like, whatever, like just going upstairs, like just gonna go take a nap. It's just so nonchalant. It's just perfect. It's so he's not even in focus. It's just like it could have been a stunt double walking, and then they just voiced over Hugh Jackman's voice. It's so incredibly perfect. It's great. I am so excited. So I'm a big fan of the comics. Obviously, I actually. Not a lot of people like this the series of comics, this run, but I did like the Versus series, the DC versus Marvel, and of course one of the great epic runs. You got the Fatal Attractions run with involving Wolverine specifically. This is back whenever the adamantium was stripped from his bones, and this is when the first time we kind of saw after all this. He's sitting with Jubilee by this tree at the end of the run, and you see the bone claws come out of his fist. And he talks about how it still hurts every time, and he's got to work the claws back and forth to kind of keep the wounds from healing up too much. It's a great run. It's a great series. The character is just amazing. And before they hand it off, maybe they get this one last run out of it. Maybe they do this one last thing. But this is me just geeking out. This is my initial reaction. Is it overblown? Am I missing something? Is this maybe too much? Are they milking this just a little too much? What do you think? What do you think about this? Do you have an opposite take? You're like, well, I think this is a bridge too far. They should just go ahead and they should have ended it. The movie Logan should have been the last movie with Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, and now we need to move on. We need to move past it. He's been playing the character forever. It's too much. That's a legitimate point of view. I'm still very much excited about this. I'm very excited about it. Let me know what you think about all that if you're watching this on the replay in the comment section below. But for right now, I'm going to go to the chat because I'm excited about this, guys. You got to talk. You may have to talk me off of this ledge because I'm so excited. This is going to be very cool. So we got Bob saying, yeah, it makes some sense too. Tony C, he called it. X-Force Psylocke was my first love. Yes, and if we're going to bring this back around to some video game history, we're talking about Marvel versus Capcom. We're talking about the Capcom Marvel games. I mean, come on, the render of Psylocke is pretty impressive. The woman had some thighs, and I commend her on that. Those thighs rivaled Chun-Li. I mean, it's not a bad thing. Not a bad thing at all. Josh says that would be awesome. Olivia Munn, I think we're retreading some ground here. Olivia Munn in tight leather. We have X-Force versus Suicide. Mind-blowing. Mind would eliminate it. your mind, you would not recover if that were the case. Very, it's just awesome. It's very exciting. The woman has unbelievable sword skills, absolutely, and the kinetic, the kinetic, I think it's kinetic energy or psychokinesis is one of her powers that Psylocke uses. But Olivia Munn, come back, absolutely. Besides the fact that you're gorgeous and easy on the eyes, it'd be great to see that character do a little bit more. It'd be great to see that character come back, reprise that role, and do a little more with it. What is Olivia Munn doing right now? As far as acting goes, not much. Not much. It'd be great to have her come back, and it would be great to have them break that fourth wall and maybe have Deadpool make fun of her for being on G4 TV. I mean, just come on. It's just, the sky's the limit. Go nuts. I think the majority of the jokes are probably going to be, hurled at Hugh Jackman, at Wolverine. I just can't wait to see those two on screen, those two actors playing those characters on screen. It's going to be just absolutely amazing. Big D, RK Big ED says, what's up? Nothing much. Just talking about a little amazing, Deadpool 3 news. So awesome you're covering this. I'm excited, buddy. I'm excited. I'm legitimately stoked about this. This is a good thing. Possibly the last good thing from MCU. Ben Foster as the Archangel would be sweet. Absolutely. Makes me want to run through Deadpool on PS4 again. This is pretty exciting. What else out there could be this exciting? I mean, this is really, really fun. But listen, you've heard me geek and nerd out about this. I think there's somebody else. Somebody else might be stopping by the chat to maybe say a little something, share their thoughts, share their take. I'm going to go ahead and plug in my earphones, my earbuds. Don't want to drown anybody out. Don't want to get any echoes because I think this is an opinion that we definitely want to hear unmolested, unmanipulated by audio issues. The man, P-Dub's brother. Do you know what we're talking about? Are you down with this? What is going on? How you doing tonight, buddy?
Hey, I'm doing great. I can't stay for long. I got your invite. I figured I'd pop in and see how you're doing. And I think Ryan Reynolds is wearing one of these sunglasses today because he broke the internet today. The internet is on fire.
Absolutely.
Because Hugh Jackman is coming back as the Wolverine. I'm personally, I think this is great. I think this is great.
Let me lay it on us. You can't stay long. Blow it up, buddy. Let us know. So your thumbs up, thumbs down. You're like this, right?
I am. Because keep in mind too, we showed that this worked with Tobey Maguire in Spider-Man, and we showed that this worked with Andrew Garfield in Spider-Man. That you can bring, the multiverse. It's all about the multiverse right now.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So even if he doesn't become like the official long-term Wolverine in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, we're going to get to see him one more time, and I personally find that very exciting.
I legitimately, I was telling the chat, I was telling everybody, I'm in the office, we got meetings, we're doing this, we're doing that, and my little brother doesn't text me all the time, P-Dubs, he doesn't, but when he does, I know it's important, and he texted me this, and I was like, wow, I had to stop what I'm doing and check this out. I was very excited. I didn't see this coming. I didn't hear about this beforehand. Did you know that this was coming, or had you heard anything about this at all?
No, I didn't know. And I do pay attention to a lot of the pop culture channels that are out there.
Yes.
They're kind of funny. Pop culture channels, like let's just say, oh man, can I mention names? It's not anything.
Blow it up. No, mention them. Yeah, absolutely.
So if you look at like a bunch of pop culture channels, like one guy I subscribe to like Screen Crush, New Age Rock Stars, Emergency Awesome. Let us know in the live chat if you subscribe to any of these guys. What's funny about these guys is, in the home arcade space, if we get like a nugget of news, we make a 10-minute video.
Yeah.
These guys do it times a million, like 9 videos a day off a nugget of information.
Weeks of content.
But still, like, I'm sure Emergency Awesome and these guys have probably talked about it in the past, but a lot of times I kind of skip over it. What I really like about those pop culture channels is like when they do like reviews of like episodes of the TV series and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I honestly, it shocked me. Like I didn't think it was going to happen, but I'm happy it is happening. So yeah,
I'm pretty happy too. I thought that it was great that Hugh Jackman was able to wrap up the character with the movie Logan. I didn't want to see him go. I didn't want to see it end, but I was happy that he could at least bring a close to that. So I would have probably been happy if we never saw him again. But seeing this now, knowing that it's very a tongue-in-cheek kind of movie, I'm super excited, man. What are they gonna do with the character? Who knows? Do you think that maybe because we're talking about X-Force, I'll go ahead and bring this picture up again. Do you think we could maybe possibly see Olivia Munn reprise her role? What do you think?
I would love to see that. And if you throw enough money at a situation, it'll happen. You know what I mean? So,
That's a
um,
good,
and
that's a
I don't
really good
recall
point.
her. I don't recall her having any kind of controversies where Disney would be like, not interested in doing business with her. You know what I mean? So,
I think you're right. And I was trying to think, what is she doing now? I mean, I don't know of any big acting gigs she's got going on right now. Maybe she would definitely be open to it. It'd
yeah,
be even kind of funny if Deadpool would make fun of her for being on G4 TV. I mean, to really break that fourth wall, to really bring up some old stuff would
yeah.
be absolutely hilarious.
So, what do you
Um,
think they're gonna do? Do you think Disney's even gonna fly their banner in front of the movie?
so what
Are you
they
even gonna see Tinkerbell go across the castle when the
No, I
movie
think so.
starts?
What they've done, they've kind of done this thing where they've given it a different it's under a different banner. So this would be I think they're calling it 20th Century Studios. So it's not Fox anymore. It's not
Mhm.
20th Century Fox, it's like 20th Century Studios. So they could still they're going to have I mean, tell me what you think. You're going to have to do it rated R. You have to do this rated R. You
If
have
they
to.
come back, if they come out and say we're doing Deadpool 3 and it's
Mhm.
PG-13 just so we can put kids in movie theaters, this movie, you think that people have trashed Rings of Power before even watching it. Imagine what a PG-13 Deadpool announcement would do. It would
Mm.
shatter the interwebs. Everyone would hate it. You know what I mean? Like you have to do it a certain way. It has to be the way the first two movies were fantastic. I really enjoyed
They're absolutely for what they are. They're
them.
just perfect, right? They're
Yeah.
almost islands by themselves, and that's probably the only character that can do that. That's probably the only movie that they could do that. But I think it's just you're exactly right. You cannot break that. You can't go with the
Mhm,
PG-13 or you can't settle for anything less.
mhm,
If you do, it's just going to feel watered down and lame.
yeah. So it makes sense that Disney will just have it under a different logo, different 20th Century Studios, whatever,
That's kind of what I'm thinking. That's kind of what I'm
try and
thinking.
not. But here's what's funny though is in future crossovers, does that mean if Deadpool, let's just say Deadpool shows up in the big crossover movies they got coming up in the next year or two, like Secret Invasion and
Yeah, yeah.
the King Dynasty or whatever it's called, the next two Avengers movies. If he shows up in there, and it'll be funny. He'll probably be funny, make some like teenage type jokes. But do you think in an Avengers movie he would like say the F word? Probably
I,
not.
I think no. I think you're right. I think what we this
Yeah.
could be this movie could also be the end of Deadpool, at least Ryan Reynolds' version of Deadpool. I hate to say that,
Yeah.
but I don't know. To your point, how would he fit moving forward unless they just
Mhm.
continue to keep him absolutely separate and he's just like comic relief for everything they're doing in the MCU right now? But yeah, you're
Well,
right. He
I
doesn't fit at all.
I found it interesting that he does the breaking the fourth wall, talking to the camera stuff,
Hmm, hmm.
and the fact that they're doing that with She-Hulk. I was like,
Yeah,
why is She-Hulk doing this?
I
You know what
don't.
I mean? And if you watch the She-Hulk TV series,
I have not. I haven't given
it's
it a
it's
chance.
it's not as woke as some people say it is. It's actually
Right.
decent in my opinion.
Okay.
Um, but she talks to the camera a lot. She breaks the fourth wall, talks to the camera, makes funny
Mm.
jokes, like and it's like you're kind of like, oh wait, that's what Deadpool does, right? Like that's a Deadpool thing. Why are they giving it to her? Are they not going to give it to Deadpool? But Deadpool's gonna do it too. Well, it would be kind of funny though if they were both on screen and they both broke the fourth wall at the same time.
So what if they were talking to like their own
Uh,
audience, like they were
and they're
breaking their own fourth wall? Yeah.
and they're like, "Hold on, it's my turn. Hold on, it's my turn. It's my turn to talk
Okay,
to the viewers."
I like that.
Uh,
That would be kind of cool. That would be kind of cool.
yeah,
But yeah, it is a little out of place for them to do it now. And I'm not
she
familiar.
did. She did break the fourth wall in the comics. That's
I was going to
interesting.
ask that question. I'm not that familiar with
Yeah,
her. Did she break it in the fourth wall?
yeah.
But we do have a
I didn't.
$2 super
Go ahead.
chat from Stringer Films.
Yeah,
I need Juice Newton from the opening credits again. Absolutely.
yeah.
Um,
I never
I didn't know that.
I never collected She-Hulk comic books. The only time I ever saw She-Hulk would be
Mm,
in like some of my. I have some old from the '90s, like Avengers West Coast comic books, right?
yes.
and she would be one of the West Coast Avengers. But I don't recall her ever doing that in the comic. But then again, and the only other time I read comic books that had her in it would be like the big crossovers, like Infinity Crusade, Infinity Gauntlet, Infinity War. But that was all like a war's happening. There was really not a lot of humor
And then
going on
everybody came in. Yeah,
in those
exactly.
comic books. Like guys, I never read a She-Hulk comic book. So yeah. She did that in the comics? That's funny.
Deadpool twerking. Yeah, we don't want to see
That's
that. No,
funny.
well, you know what? I think we may, if we go back and watch the movies, he may have done it. I don't know. That's something he would probably
Oh, I
do.
love that. I'm learning something new. Fun fact, She-Hulk was first to break fourth wall in comics decades ago per Devastra Amga in your live chat. Very cool.
Very cool. No, it's
Had no idea.
I don't because I don't pretend to be a expert in all things comics, so it's great to find
Oh,
out
yeah.
this stuff and
Nobody is.
dig in
I
and-
know a lot of comic book shit, but not She-Hulk. She-Hulk wasn't like, oh my god, I gotta go buy this month's She-Hulk at the local
exactly.
I gotta go look at the spinning stand at my local grocery store and go grab the next She-Hulk comic. You know what I mean?
She even dabbled with the fifth wall, evidently.
Whoa.
Yeah, so that's that's cool. As long as they're paying homage to the original comics, I'm good with that. I'm good with that. That's fine. But yeah, I don't. So what are they going to do? What's the story going to be? Does the story even matter? It's going to be a Deadpool movie. I mean, it's.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
I don't think it
doesn't
really
matter.
matters. The kind of the jokes or what makes the movie. Honestly, it's that sense of humor. I don't think this is going to be a return for him though, Hugh Jackman. I think this is probably
Swan
he's-
song, final farewell.
I think so. I think he's doing this for his buddy. I think the fans definitely want it to see him in this place. And I'm fine with that. If this is the last time we see it, I'm good with that. What do you think?
If it's like a one and done, like I'm excited. Trust me, I'm super excited.
Yes.
And also, the next person who wears the claws is going to have big shoes to fill.
Absolutely.
Right? And whoever that person is will always be compared to Hugh Jackman's Wolverine.
Rightly
so.
I think.
I feel bad for whoever that next actor is, right? Like the minute the name is announced, Wolverine will be, I don't know, Chris Pine or some guy. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they'll throw
Yeah.
that, not Chris Pine
Yeah.
now. Is Chris Pine the Captain Kirk guy? There's so many
Yeah,
Chris's
yeah.
out there.
No, Chris Pine is the Captain Kirk guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was also
So I'm
in,
just,
yeah.
I'm just
Wonder
throwing,
Woman. Yeah.
I'm throwing names out there, right?
Or whatever. Yeah. Whoever the guy is. Yeah.
People be like, that Hugh Jackman was better. You know what I mean? Or some people be like, Hugh Jackman sucked. I think it makes sense. It's kind of like Professor X in Multiverse of Madness. Like,
Yeah, absolutely.
Patrick
Yes.
Stewart is old AF. Like, will he make it to the next Marvel movies? You know what I mean? Like,
I can't. I think
Yeah.
as painful as it
Yeah.
is, you got to kind of tear the Band-Aid off. You got to recast these people. I hate to say it, but I think you have to for the longevity of the franchise, right?
Yeah.
We have Josh has a question. How do you feel about actors playing multiple comic book heroes in different movies? I've erased Green Lantern, so Reynolds is only Deadpool to me, but not crazy about going from DC to Marvel. Do you have opinion on that? What do you think?
I'm trying to think. Throw someone in the live chat who was a superhero in more than one movie, because we had Captain America was also Johnny Storm,
Johnny Storm, exactly.
but that was all for that was when
That was all Marvel, and that was a different
was-
universe.
Yeah, that was all Marvel, different universe. I'm trying to think of who else.
I don't know who else.
Yeah,
Let us know in the live chat.
Yeah, who else?
Yeah.
Who else was another super? Well, I've seen some people do like some of the side characters. You know what I'm talking about? Like
some of the side characters is one thing. That's fine. I mean,
Thanos. Like Josh Brolin was. he played-
Cable,
okay.
and he was Thanos.
All right.
Yeah, that's
Well, no, and he was Jonah Hex,
Oh, that's right. He was Jonah Hex. That was in
Yes,
DC. That's right. So
Yeah.
okay.
I thought that was cool.
Oh,
like
Ben
I liked him. Daredevil's okay. Yeah, there you go. Well,
Yeah,
you know what though?
There you
That Daredevil movie was so bad. Like
it was
you have
very
to pretend
bad.
it doesn't. You have to pretend it doesn't exist.
Well, especially when you compare it to the
Um,
Netflix series, which was so good,
Yeah.
so good.
All right. Was Ben Affleck good as Batman?
I think so. Listen, I mean, I know Batman, once again, that's a big cowl to fill, right?
Mhm.
Big boots to fill, a big cape to fill. I think he was probably the best Bruce Wayne He did a lot of detective stuff. He was very sort of he had a little bit of gray. He was very seasoned, and I think that there's that scene in Batman versus Superman where he's
Mhm.
beating up the bad guys in the warehouse. That warehouse scene was just like that was Batman, right? The brutality.
Yeah.
I thought he was really good. What do you think? What are your thoughts on that part?
Honestly, I thought he made a good Bruce Wayne. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
and then once you wear the suit, it's all about the gadgets and the toys. And where does he get those wonderful toys? Like, I
Wonderful
didn't mind Ben
toys.
Affleck as Batman. I really
No,
didn't.
I liked him a lot actually. Yeah.
I'm not too into all these goddamn emo Batmans we keep getting lately. Like, let's get back to having fun. So yeah, okay. So Michael Keaton, yes, he was Vulture
Mhm.
in Spider-Man, and then
Okay,
also
that's a good
he
one.
was the original, but he went from being a villain to a hero, and it's been like shit, 30 years, 40 years.
That
Like,
was a big gap. That was a really
there's a
big gap.
big gap in time. Like, I think it's okay. I think it's forgivable. Keaton comes back. It's been a few decades. You know what I mean? Like, we could
Yeah.
have Michael Keaton back as
I
another
think
in
we
another
can definitely
comic
let
book
that one
movie.
go. Exactly. We can let that one go.
Yeah.
I don't mind.
Um,
I don't mind that. I mean, actors playing
yeah.
different. I mean, it's there. Listen, nothing can be any more different than, as far as cinematically, than Marvel and DC. They're very, very separate. Those streams have never crossed. Right in the
Yeah.
comics, they did all the time. I showed. I've got the. I was a big fan of the Versus series that they did in the '90s. It was very
I
cool.
have all those.
Definitely
I
a
have all
one-off,
those. I
but it
have
was
all
so
those.
cool. I love those. I love that
Yeah.
series.
What's really cool about that series is you got to see Superman versus Hulk,
Hmm.
Superman 1. You got to
Of course.
see Wolverine versus Lobo, Wolverine 1.
Hmm. Hmm.
You got to see Batman versus Captain America. I think Batman won.
You got to see Storm versus Wonder Woman.
Storm versus Wonder
Yeah,
Woman.
that was a good one because Wonder Woman won, but then she was able to take on some of the powers of Storm, which was crazy,
Right.
really
And
crazy.
then didn't she fight Thor after that? Because now she had like Thunder God powers.
Yeah, I
And I
think. Well,
think she beat Thor
they had the
in that
whole
crossover.
the amalgam universe spawned out of that, and you had those amalgam characters, which you had Dark Claw, which was Batman and
Okay.
Wolverine, which was crazy. That was nuts.
So what was really cool about that series, did you talk about this earlier on your show?
I don't no, not yet.
All right, so should we kind of
Go
we'll
ahead.
get all right. So if
Yeah.
you guys are
No, go
new to
ahead.
if you guys are new to comic books or don't know this, so a long time ago, DC Marvel got together. They did a Marvel versus DC crossover, and at the end of it, worlds collide, they explode, and they call it the amalgam universe. And what they did is they printed a whole bunch of issues, comic books, and they're all numbered 1. And it's like, what would happen if like the characters merged and like their powers merged and stuff? So like right here, go ahead and put yourself full screen so people can see
There
it.
you go.
So like when the universe collides at the end of the fight, because these two companies can't say, well, we're gonna let you win DC, or we're gonna let you win Marvel. Your characters are stronger than ours. Let's have them mash up. So right here you have Dark Claw, which is what if Wolverine and Batman were like combined into the same character.
Such a great
Um,
concept. So cool.
and they released like shit 15, 20 of those
Oh yeah,
magazines.
there's a ton of them.
I have them all in my closet here, man,
I've
and
got like
they're
Super
great.
Soldier with Superman and Captain
Yeah,
America. Just crazy stuff. Crazy stuff.
yeah, yeah. But minus that, I mean, that was all kind of goofy. It was their way of
Sure. Yeah, it
saying
was
this.
one-offs, definitely. Yeah.
But the actual storyline of Marvel versus DC, the 4 books or so, I think it's 4 books.
Four main books. Yep.
Oh my god, the fights were incredible. Like, you were hooked. You're like, is
Oh yeah.
Lobo gonna beat Wolverine? This is impossible. You know? Oh, and I love Superman versus Hulk. You guys got to watch that, or not
It was
watch that.
so
Read that.
you have to read it. Look up and the
Yeah,
issues, they're not that
yeah,
expensive on eBay if you're
yeah.
trying to get into it. And there's some YouTube content creators who have reviewed these series if you just want to get a little glimpse of it. But yeah, it was epic, incredibly epic. What is also epic is this $2 super chat from Stringer Films again.
Mhm.
Effect nailed the Dark Stalkers Returns. I'm sorry, the Dark Knight Returns comic Batman. Absolutely. Absolutely. We have another $2 from Stringer Films. Again, the Batman was by far the best detective Batman. He's talking
That
about
is
the most
true.
recent movie. I think he had a great,
That is true.
he had that detective. We got to see him at the scene of the crime, figuring out what had happened. I thought that's a
Yeah,
valid point. That's a valid point. I
that's
wasn't real
true.
big on the emo. Batman, the emo thing he had going on. I'm with you on that one. I called him Sparkles before the movie came out because he was, he famously played a sparkling vampire in the Twilight movies. But I got to give it to him. I got to give it to him. He pulled the movie. He pulled it off. I think for the most part, he pulled it off.
I don't know. Nostalgia. He tied his hair up in a ponytail. He wore skinny jeans. So when Nostalgia went to see that movie, he tied his hair up in a ponytail, wore skinny jeans,
all kinds of
pair of Converse that with the bottom of the pants rolled a little bit, and he told me that this guy was the best Batman ever. And I was like, I was like, I think the movie is decent. I would agree that it gives you the most detective version of Batman of all time, right? Because a lot of times, like at their computer, just watching video clips. Like even Michael Keaton's Batman, how much investigating was he really doing? He was just kind of like he's like watching the screens in the Batcave, and he's showing
punch a few,
like, look at this video.
Keys,
like all they're doing mostly in the Batcave and all the Batman movies is just watching video clips. Like that's all. That's the amount of detective work. It's like us going on YouTube to figure shit out, right? Like,
that's the extent of it. Yeah, exactly.
That's the amount of detective work they're doing. But in that movie, he actually got really into it, right? Like, and also too, Ben Affleck too, like when he like got the bullet out of the wall.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
no, I'm sorry, not
that
Ben
was
Affleck.
that was Christian Bale.
Christian
Bale
he
reconstructed the bullet. Yeah,
reconstructed the bullet. Like that whole scene was awesome. That's people want to see that stuff. But yeah, yeah. So was Robert Pattinson the best Batman yet? No.
Not in my opinion.
No.
Your opinion may be different in the chat, but in my opinion, no, he's not the best.
Was it the best? Was it the best Batman detective story? Yes.
I got to give praise to the Batmobile. If this is supposed to be like, I think it was technically, this is year 2 Batman. In his journal we see in the movie, it's his second year of doing this. He's still rough around the edges. He's still shell shocked, becoming this duality, this dual character. So I kind of see that if they make a sequel, which I'm sure they will, we need to see the separation. We need to see Bruce Wayne, Batman, more of a separation, more of him being able to embrace both sides, not just sort of emo and shell shocked. But the Batmobile in this was very much grassroots, badass, gritty, but I think it worked. You could see that kind of being a thing that someone could put together based on a car. Got the jet engine. That was very cool. I like that. What did you think about the Batmobile in the latest movie?
I liked it. I actually liked it more than Christian Bale's bridge hopper Batmobile.
Yeah, the Tumbler. Yeah,
the Tumbler. I thought that was stupid. I thought when it converted into a bike, though, I thought the bike was cool. The Bat Cycle, where it popped out.
Yeah, it came out the front.
Yeah,
that was very cool.
I thought that was badass. And it had a great sound to it. Like when you watch the movie, the sound of the motorcycle.
Oh yeah.
I thought it sounded really cool. But then again, I have ride motorcycles, so I thought that was cool.
And that was a cool because it was like a real thing that they built for the movie. It wasn't just some computer generated thing. It was something they made for it. So that was really cool. Stringer Films again, $2 more says Keaton had best Batmobile. Affleck was the best Batman.
I would agree. I would agree with 50% of this statement. I think Keaton did have the best Batmobile, and I also think Keaton has been our best Batman.
Keaton had the most iconic Batmobile.
And what's funny
was not the most practical, because the Tumbler was definitely more practical. It existed in the real world. The Batmobile in Keaton's movies were so big it couldn't turn, right? He had to have the grappling hook to come out and swing around. But yeah, well, I'm sorry. What were you going to say? I didn't mean to cut you off there.
No. It's no. That Batmobile. What were we talking about? I lost my.
We're talking about the different Batmobile. You said so. You agreed with 50% of this statement. That Affleck was not the best Batman.
I mean, Michael Keaton might only be what 5'8", 5'9".
Yeah,
not a very imposing dude. He might be a $140. You know what I mean?
Oh,
he's
yeah.
I mean, he's 19K. He's 19K Fox skinny. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's scrawny. He's a skinny guy.
Yeah. But there was just something about him being Batman that he owned it. He owned that shit.
He absolutely killed it. And we didn't think. I didn't think it was a good mix.
Yeah.
I mean, Mr. Mom is going to be Batman.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Kind of like Hugh Jackman, right? Being Wolverine should be a short muscled up guy. But he pulled it off. I think that I don't know. I go back and forth. Ben Affleck could have been the best Bruce Wayne. It's possible.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I agree. Ben Affleck was without a doubt the best Bruce Wayne. Michael Keaton was the best Batman.
Batman. Yeah. And everybody
Does
else
that make
kind of
sense?
falls.
Does that make sense at all?
To me, it does. And let us know in the chat what do you think? Because we're talking about the duality of Batman.
Well, think
We're
about
talking
it. Val Kilmer didn't do a horrible job at either
No,
role.
not near as bad as
It was a horrible
George
script.
Clooney. Yes.
It was when they were like, let's go super campy.
Yeah,
like
it was really
Batman
bad.
66 campy is what they did.
Oh,
like
it was
Batman
really
Forever and Batman and Robin. And Batman and Robin, George Clooney was the worst. But still, the point is Val Kilmer as Bruce Wayne. Did you actually believe he was Bruce Wayne?
He just didn't. He didn't fit the bill for me. He really didn't. It just,
You
I don't know, the blonde hair, maybe. I don't know. It didn't have that darkness about him. Well, you need to have a hint of that in Bruce Wayne, in my opinion.
the movies were just too campy. Like
It was pretty bad. Yeah.
And he was a campy Bruce Wayne. He was a campy Batman. Same with Clooney. That's why they suck. Christian Bale, I really liked Batman Begins, and I really liked The Dark Knight. The Dark Knight Returns with Bane and stuff like it. I wasn't a big fan of that movie.
I'm
It
with
just
you. Yeah.
I like it when they kind of. I like that Marvel was going all out there, like, hey, this is cosmic universe stuff. They have a way of making it
Wild.
fun,
Yeah.
fun, believable, serious. DC, it feels like their heroes and storylines, a lot of them are better if it's more grounded in reality. You know what I mean?
And
And
I
the
think you
thought
can-
and the thought of like a terrorist group taking over an entire city and the country doing nothing about it.
nothing about it.
Yeah.
They just blow up
You know
some
what I mean?
bridges, and I didn't. I'm
Oh,
with you.
they
That
blew
was
up the
not
bridges. The army can't do shit about this. They got
It
a
felt-
nuclear bomb.
It felt
It
like
just
Christopher
seemed
Nolan
weird.
had a good idea for 2 movies, and they couldn't
Yeah.
quite figure out the 3rd movie. But I think you're right. I think they're
Yeah.
DC, all of DC, right? They cannot do this thing where our heroes exist in the real world. Batman absolutely can exist in the real world. That makes sense. Superman? I mean, you can't. You have to take some liberties there. You can't have it be so grounded that Superman. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense to me. I think that was where, while I like a lot of those movies, trying to make Superman dark and gritty just didn't really work for me. He needs to be diametrically opposed to Batman. He needs to be, the Boy Scout, truth, justice, the American way, bright and shiny, as opposed to Batman's dour, still the great sense of justice and truth and right and wrong and all that, but a dour sort of different look than Superman. And then they contrast each other, but to have them so similar to me just didn't work so well. But that's
Wait,
just my opinion.
Did you like Brandon Routh as emo Superman? Is that what you're saying?
That's a good. See, you have to bring that one up. I didn't.
Do you like Henry
I did-
Cavill?
Yes.
I think
Yes.
Cavill is the best Superman since Reeves. I think
Christopher
he
Reeve.
is.
Well, I agree with that all day long.
Yeah.
I liked him in the first movie, Man of Steel, but in the second movie, they got a little too dark and gritty with Superman. It's like, no, let Batman be dark and gritty. They don't need
Yeah.
to both be dark and gritty,
Yeah.
And it's just I don't know. That was, I guess, just a different way to look at the characters, I think. But yeah, in Man of Steel, awesome. Absolutely great. I mean, I know there's a lot of people that don't like that movie for this or that reason, but I really, really like that movie. Just a ton.
And I've always had a crush on Amy Adams. That's my girl.
Well, that's not a bad crush to have there.
I mean,
Peter.
she's not as young as she used to be, but neither am I.
She's still gorgeous. She's still gorgeous.
Still beautiful. Still
Absolutely.
but
And
still.
red hair doesn't hurt anything at all. So,
Something about redheads.
not at all. So we've gone almost an hour here, sir. I know it's late. I know.
Oh crap! I was only supposed to hop on for a minute. I'm sorry.
No, you're absolutely right. I just wanted to say, I wanted to give everybody kind of a chance to kind of make a few more comments before we read the results of the poll. The poll question was this: now that the cat is out of the bag, who thought that we would see Wolverine played by Hugh Jackman ever again? I'm going to go ahead and close the poll. We had 78 votes. Thanks, everybody. I thought we would only get maybe 50. 78 votes. That is awesome. And we're going to go ahead and end the poll with, it's actually a lot closer than I ever thought it was going to be. 52% said you didn't think it was going to happen. I figured that would be a bigger number. I thought that would be more like 75-25, but it was almost 50-50. It was 48-51. didn't think it was going to happen. And you also said you didn't think it would happen, right?
No, I didn't think it was that. I thought they would just age cast him like, he's too old. It's been 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
Blah blah blah. But
Absolutely.
hey, man, they see this as printing money. So
Well, I don't think it's a bad business decision at all. And as long as Hugh Jackman is willing
good
to
idea.
put in the work, and he's always done it, you got to give the man that. He's always
he'll be completely shredded by the time the movie comes out.
absolutely he'll be shredded, and I think him and Ryan Reynolds are gonna have a great time. And listen, if this is the last time we see both of them as those characters, I think it's a win for the nerd community, geek community, comic book fans in general.
Can I point out one thing that I thought was
Sure.
very, very disappointing?
Oh, what's up? Yeah, go ahead.
So do you remember which movie was it? X-Men, I believe it was Days of Future Past. Yes. The one where with Apocalypse. They reset the time.
Oh, no, that was actually Apocalypse. Yes. Days of Future Past happened before Apocalypse.
Okay, so So
which Days of Future Past was a great movie.
Okay, I got them straight.
Age of Apocalypse, yeah.
I got them straight in my head.
Well, it's tough to keep that straight because the timeline isn't exactly.
And think about
all
it.
over the place.
By the time Deadpool comes out, that'll be the 37th Marvel movie. By the time that comes out, 37 guys.
I think that's
it's impossible to remember everything that happened in every goddamn movie. Anyway, Days of Future Past. They go back in time. They reset timelines. And at the end of the movie, you see all of them in comic book traditional costumes.
Yes,
you saw Cyclops and Nightcrawler and Mystique,
Jean Grey, and everybody.
They were wearing their comic book costumes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then Apocalypse comes out, and then they like completely scrap that idea. You know what I mean? Like, we still haven't seen the X-Men in traditional X-Men costumes.
Like Wolverine in the blue and the
like I want to see either I want to see Wolverine in the brown and it was like a brown and a black
brown and
or I want to everyone really wants to see him in the yellow and blue, right? Like,
absolutely, at least once.
And they teased that at the end of the Wolverine movie where he opened the suitcase and he had the costume in there. Maybe do you think we'll get yellow and blue Wolverine here?
Oh no, I think absolutely
yellow, black, and blue.
Okay, let's go back.
Yeah.
I know you'll remember this, P-Dubs.
Yeah.
In the first X-Men movie, the first one, whenever he joins a team and they're in the jet, I forget what the jet's called, and he's talking about the fact that he's got to wear this black leather, and Cyclops says, what would be better, blue and yellow spandex, makes that joke referencing the 90s comic book, outfit, to have that, even if it's just like a one-shot little nod or a joke in this movie. Could absolutely happen. I think it should happen. That would be great. Even if it's just like he's changing the Blackbird. Yes, thank you, Bob. The Blackbird.
There you go.
That would be hilarious. That would be good. And even if they could do that, right?
Yeah, they could absolutely. But I would love to see some of those. Like they did it at the end of the movie. Like they're getting their training. And they're all wearing the costumes.
I know.
And they looked, even though, and yes, you have to change them a little bit so people don't think they're completely stupid.
I get that.
The casual.
A little bit, it's fine.
Right?
Yeah.
The casual viewers, right? Because you got to try and please everybody. You got to change them a little bit,
Sure.
That's why, like Superman, he's not wearing like bright red, right? He's wearing like kind of like this, kind of like the red you have on the Deadpool logo behind us. It's a darker,
right?
It's not like fire engine. Because if you
right,
because he was wearing fire engine red, it would look on camera. It looks like like it's a toy, like it's a comic.
Right,
book,
exactly.
They're trying to make it seem
exactly
okay. I get all that. That. But the fact is, at the end of that movie, they teased us that we were going to get these badass X-Men costumes. And in the next movie, they forgot all about it, went back to wearing the yellow and black training costumes and bullshit. It was terrible. Listen,
that's that's the one thing I hated about the X-Men Fox universe, right? They would just forget continuity and they would just sort of kind of start over in a way. It was kind of so weird. They'd had a good run going, like you said, you reference it at the end of Days of Future Past. It's a great way to kind of wrap up that timeline, but they couldn't just leave it alone. They had to come up with Apocalypse and mess it up even more. So maybe this will be a way to kind of satisfy some of the fans, wrap up the characters in a great way. And, hey, and if this is the last, if this is all we get,
one final hurrah, one final swan song for Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. I'm here for it. I'm ready.
Oh, I am absolutely ready for it, and I can't wait for the box set, the Deadpool box set, the steel books that they'll come out with eventually. That's going to be great. But I feel like P-Dubs, what do you think, man? I think we're kind of turning a page with some of these actors playing these characters, with the MCU overall. Maybe it's time to close the book. And I always thought that after Endgame, they should have said, hey, that was great. You had a great 10, 11-year run. Close the book on that. MCU is done. Now let's do MCU 2.0. Disney has purchased Fox. Now they have the X-Men. They have the Fantastic Four. And you could start over. And all these characters exist in your universe from the get-go. You don't have to worry about little things like we can't say the word mutant, because that was a thing when they first started the MCU. They couldn't use the word mutant because of the legalities of it all. So
mutant. And Ultron was made out of vibranium instead of adamantium.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? All because of the 20th Century Fox owning the rights to certain things, which Marvel now has back in their pocket, Marvel and Disney. So they can do whatever they want now. By the way, you got a guy in the live chat. His name is Big Daddy Lolo, and he asked a question in the live chat, and I answered him, and I wrote, yes, Big Daddy, in the live chat. It was really weird typing that. Big Daddy, please change your YouTube name.
Big Daddy, we love that you're in the chat, but maybe, just
Big
maybe,
Daddy,
change it just a little bit so we don't feel awkward.
He asked a question, and I answered him. I typed yes, Big Daddy, and then after I typed it, I was like, wait a minute, that sounded really weird. We felt really weird to type.
Let's not allow. Don't make P-Dubs say yes, Big Daddy.
Oh, I'm turning so red. Big Daddy's here. Watch out. Big Daddy's here.
Big Daddy. Yeah. Oh, that's a little bit creepy. But what's not creepy is the fact that we got this great news. I'm excited about it.
Yes.
P-Dubs is excited. If you're excited, if you're watching this on the replay, I think it's a great thing. And if you're watching this on the replay, blow it up. Let me know what you think about it. Were you excited? Did you see this coming? Did you not see this coming? Let me know. I want to hear about your opinions, and I can't wait till September 6th, 2024, when this bad boy comes out.
Yeah, it's only 2 years. It'll be here in no time.
It'll be fine. What else do we have to wait for? We can talk about the Blitz cabinet till then, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, we can talk about the Blitz cabinet for the next 2 years. Thanks for having me come on. Thanks for the invite.
Thank you so much for stopping by and kind of geeking out with me just for a little bit. It's fun to talk about something a little bit different than arcades, but definitely within our wheelhouse of nerdy goodness. So anyway, thank you so much, everybody, for stopping by and checking out the channel. Y'all have a blessed day, and we will see you next time. Peace.